Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and as we approach the last couple of days of the January transfer window, an unsurprising development has been made. Yep, we're talking about loan signings. Who would have guessed would come to this, eh? If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. It's been a slow and boring January window for Celtic. We are coming to the end now, where hopefully some stories will emerge from somewhere. And we have got a couple of things to talk about today. However, it's probably not the exciting end to the window we would have liked. It's probably the predictable ending to the window that you expected. Aye. But before we get on to that, why don't we talk about a couple of developments in outgoings? Because there's a couple of players who've been linked with moves away this morning, which make a whole lot of sense. I say make a whole lot of sense. Actually, the one we're going to start with doesn't make any sense at all. So let's just get into it, shall we? James McCarthy. Yes, James McCarthy. The same James McCarthy who hasn't played for Celtic since October of 2022. Yep, that's over a year ago. October 2022. Not 23, 22. He has had a route from Celtic blocked. He is not going to be leaving by the looks of things because Celtic have rejected a loan offer for the player. This was the headlines in Football Scotland this morning. James McCarthy, Celtic exit route blocked as Greek loan approach rejected. The article goes on to say that James McCarthy's had a possible Celtic exit route blocked by the club. Greek outfit Volos FC are believed to have lodged an attempt to land the midfielder on loan this month. However, Sky Sports claim that Celtic have rejected the offer. The side wanted a larger percentage of the midfielder's wages covered, so they've knocked back the approach. Probably the only club in world football who are willing to take James McCarthy away from us. And we've said no. Why? Because they aren't paying enough wages. So here's the logic. Instead of having a club cover some of his wages, we're going to sit here and pay all of his wages. No logic whatsoever. And I know what you might be saying. Oh, Ryan, what happens if a better deal comes in? It's James McCarthy. Who else is going to... There's no clubs in England that have any use for him. There's no clubs up here that have any use for him. And there's probably no clubs in world football who have a use for James McCarthy at this point in his career. And if they do, like Volos in Greece do, they're probably not willing to pay an awful lot of his wages, or they probably don't have the financial ability to pay the majority of his wages. So Celtic have knocked it back, and instead of letting him go away to play football, to trim down the squad, even though he's not technically involved in our squad, to trim it down, get rid of him, and save a little bit of money, they've decided, nope, we'll pay you all your wages to sit at your house and do nothing. If that's not a logic that summarises the Celtic board, I don't know what is. I don't expect this to go any further or materialise. I don't think that Volos will come back in with a better offer. I think that James McCarthy is probably going to be here till the end of the season, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. For some reason, we've knocked it back. It's beyond me at this point. However, when it comes to another midfielder, that being David Turnbull, it looks as though his exit from Celtic could potentially be on the cards, as negotiations have apparently started with Championship side Cardiff City. This was the article this morning about that. Cardiff City are interested in signing David Turnbull from Celtic, according to a report. The English Championship club have reportedly made contact over a transfer deal, and talks are currently ongoing. So the interesting thing about this is it says transfer talks. It doesn't say end of season. It doesn't say Bosman rule. It doesn't say anything about an out of contract offer. It says transfer talks. Now, obviously, David Turnbull's contract is up at the end of the season. Celtic haven't extended his deal. It doesn't look likely that we're going to extend his deal. Neither should we extend his deal, to be quite honest. I think that his time at Celtic is rightfully coming to an end. Now, I know a lot of people like David Turnbull, and to be honest, I've not got a problem with him myself, but I think it's clear that maybe there's better players out there. And he's not had an awful lot to do this season. He had a great start to the season, or a decent start to the season, I should say, and it's kind of not went anywhere from there. So it's understandable that he's going. We should get him off the wage bill. We should open up that space for someone else in the squad. However, it is very interesting to see that apparently he's in talks about a transfer. Now, it won't be a massive transfer fee. He has only got 6 months left, but maybe Celtic are keen to get that done and out the way, so that it's just, he's gone, he's off the wage bill. Other than that, if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't materialise, he's still got the opportunity to sign for any club on that Bosman rule anyway, since he's leaving at the end of the season, most likely. But hopefully Cardiff do manage to get it over the line. We might hear more about it. The reports do say it's unclear, so there's nothing in concrete to say that this is going to be a January transfer or an end of the season contract expiry situation. However, just the term being used for transfer, you know, he might be off in the next couple of days. So then, that's outgoings. That's people who could potentially be leaving the club. We've obviously spoken the last couple of days about other players, Gustav Lagerbielke being one of them. If you want to hear more about that, check out yesterday's video. Shall we talk about incomings, or lack of incomings, and what the situation currently is? Because we have went from signing nobody to potential loan fixes for the next 6 months, which is a familiar story here at Celtic Football Club. There's been a bit of chatter this morning, hasn't there? If you've been up and about and you've been on social media, or if you've been reading the papers, you will know that there is a little bit of news out there regarding Celtic's business, or potential business I should say, in the next couple of days. Many people reporting that Celtic are now turning their attentions to loan deals in those areas that we need to improve in. I don't even know where to begin. I feel like I just want to hold myself back from going on a rant and kind of voicing my disappointment. But at this point, I'm not even scunnered anymore, because it's pretty much what I expect from Celtic Football Club. We went into this window knowing what we had to do. We have left our business to the 30th of January. And now we're going for those loan options, which were so common in Brendan Rodgers' first spell as Celtic manager. It's all just so eerily familiar and damning of the ambition of our football club. And I don't even know if I can sit here and say, do you know what, they'll do us from now to the end of the season and then we go for it in the summer. Because honestly, do we go for it in the summer, or do we just see the same of what we keep seeing? Project signings, as people dub them, not the required quality, loan signings, yada yada. Is that where we're going to go? Now listen, don't get me wrong, there is potentially loan signings out there who could be brilliant use to Celtic. I'm not saying that just because we're making loan signings that it means they're terrible, they're no use to us, and it's the end of the world. I'm not saying that whatsoever. It depends who the player is, first of all, but it just shows that lack of ambition for me. I think it's just so typical of the people who run this club to do this. And let's be real, we're probably going to sign two duds from the English Premier League, two players who haven't been playing, or from other top leagues, you know, like your Jerry Toljans wasn't playing for Dortmund at the time, your Ollie Bucks, who wasn't playing football at the time. Guys like that, it feels like we're just back to that era, and I don't understand why. I can't wrap my head around why. And unless there's been assurances given that Brendan Rodgers has been promised to have this big summer window, I'm just really nervous. This was the Football Scotland headline, another one this morning, saying that Celtic target loan transfers from England as they look to strengthen in two areas before the deadline. The article goes on to say the Hoops are looking to add at the front end of the pitch. But even though Sidney van Hooijdonk is one name being bandied about, there is no contact with Bologna. In any case, the Daily Mail report that loans from England are, in quotations, the most likely marketplace. It's a market Rodgers has shopped in before across his 2 stints in charge, and now he could return to it as he looks to get these 2 missing pieces of the puzzle. I think I just want to hold back my opinions, to be honest. I feel like a broken record at this point. Now, one name that has been floating about online this morning is Danny Ings of West Ham, after Mark Guidi went on Go Radio and name-dropped him, but I would say that's not going to happen. It was just him dropping his name casually alongside other strikers. It wasn't as if he came across and said, oh, Celtic are looking at Danny Ings. He did say his name is on a list. I think that was his words on Go Radio, to be fair, which, you know, could suggest that Celtic are looking at him. He has been left kind of in the cold by West Ham this season. The move hasn't went exactly the way he wanted it to after signing for, I think it was £15 million in the summer. But I don't see Danny Ings coming to Celtic. I wouldn't I wouldn't knock him back. He's a goal scorer. He knows how to score goals. Probably do great up here. But I don't think it's one we're realistically looking at. He just dropped his name in beside Miofsky, Shankland, and Van Hooijdonk, the three strikers we've been linked with all window. So I don't think there's anything in that at all. Is he one of these loan deal options? Perhaps. Maybe he is. I wouldn't. People are already getting on this bandwagon thinking it's going to happen. Don't. Until there's something else there. All it was Mark Guidi dropping his name on the radio. It's the fact it's a left back and a striker we need. We need two positions, key positions to improve in. And I don't know how many realistic options there is down in England. I can't think of many off the top of my head. Now, I'll put this on screen. Shout out to Everything Celtic, who always has his own little kind of scout reports. This was his list of, you know, people that are potentially available in the loan market. Don't get me wrong, there's people there. I think Giles is now out the window. I think he moved to Hull. But someone like Matty Targett, I've always liked Matty Targett. I think he'd be a good option. Do I see Celtic going for it? Or it happening? Am I idealising? No, I don't really. I mean, you look at the strikers, I don't know if we'll actually go in for any of these guys. So I think that we're in probably a tough position, because I don't think it's as in terms of being fans and guessing or predicting who's going to come in, I don't think we can do that. I think this is a case of waiting until the deadline passes and seeing who it is that comes through the door for Celtic. It's going to be a total surprise. It's almost going to be like a tombola. We've got to draw names at a hat, and two people are going to come in. And that being our recruitment strategy moving into this January window is nothing short of a joke. I'm very disappointed. I think that the recruitment team has to be questioned by the manager. Who's changed his tune over the course of this month, which I'm not very happy with, because he was begging for quality and now it doesn't seem he's all that bothered. I think that the people that run the club need to be seriously questioning the guys who are in this department. There should be changes at Celtic. There should be. But that's not going to happen. That's just, once again, I sound like a broken record going on about it. But I'm not surprised we're going to end up signing two loan signings. And that's about it for today. I think that if there's anything that comes out today, I'd be surprised, first of all. But I wouldn't get your hopes up about it. I think it'll be tomorrow. It'll be deadline day. So we'll wait and see. Stick around on the channel, like and subscribe, and you'll hear it here. You'll hear my opinions. See you next time.